Hi, hello, and welcome to another episode of Executives Corner with Simona. My name is Simona Spilak, and I work with clients all around the world, leaders and managers who are juggling high stakes decision making, but who as well work on the development of their people. And today's episode is about the role of a leader and a manager in people development process. And I would say that if you would love to stay with me, then you will get to know a little bit about not only why leaders are the drivers of people development, but as well how you can make it an effective but as well continuous process. And not only with the trainings, but exactly and directly related to your people development careers and their engagement. So really warmly welcome. Yes, as all the topics in every single one of my executives corner today as well, I would love to touch a really important segment of an organization. And as said at the beginning, it's not only about training your people, identifying their potentials, identifying the growth areas and development areas. It is about you as a manager or as a leader to discuss, identify, set targets, and then support your people, your employees in the development area. And often we understand area of development as trainings based courses and also kind of a function which is a responsibility of HR. But I would love to start with the statement that people development and as well the responsibility for learning and development sits in the hands of a manager or a leader. So learning and development function is a manager's responsibility and a manager function. Yes, of course, you have HR to support you with processes, to provide your ideas, to identify outside coaches and services providers who might ignite the idea how to set up the processes or the concept and the tools. But at the end of the day, how you provide support for your people and employees to develop, it's a function of a manager and a leader. And I would love to state here that just a week ago or 10 days ago, I was working with a big international clients with their senior managers and managers at the area of people development. And the topic and as well our workshops together, which are our group workshops, were exactly focused on the fact that managers and leaders have to be equipped with the skills and competences to be able to support their employees' development and their careers development. And that's such an important piece of learning and development function in the organization. So it's not only about providing trainings and development to your employees, it is as well to support them in their career development so they don't get stuck in a certain phase. And I'll touch a little bit later on how do I understand that what you as a manager or as a team leader can do in that area to support your people growth. Where to start? I like to start with one of the researchers of Google. I know that most probably you are already aware of the famous Aristotle project of Google, where they identify that the successful teams and the most engaged teams are in the companies where the psychological safety is provided and where they can ask questions, where they can make mistakes to learn and not to avoid either let's say a tough question, or for some people also a very simple questions. All of that is allowed, and psychological safety became a very popular term and a very observed and research area where companies are developing in the future, focusing with their engagement activities due to that Google project. But that's not the one I would love to touch. I would love to talk about the other Google's project called Oxygen. Oxygen was a project conducted by Google as they were trying to identify 10 characteristics of highly successful and effective, but as well good managers / leaders. And they've done that research in their own organization. What they did, they simply set the assumption and the hypothesis that managers are not needed. So what Google did, they simply deleted all the managers and all the leaders' role and kept the organization flat. And they actually done it live. So for, I believe, 4 months, there were no managers in the organization of Google, and employees were able to take responsibility, accountabilities, and ownership of their own roles and conduct their jobs and activities. And of course, also reporting as they were taught, but as well how the organization functioned. What was the end result? They stopped the project after 4 months because what they recognized is that employees simply were lacking a guidance. They were lacking an instruction. They were lacking a focus in a specific, not only decision-making processes, but as well in everyday work. So employees and people in the organization simply need a focus. They need somebody who is not only a guidance, but as well the orientation, somebody who sets the path and course corrects the path of the organization. And simply people need that. And by identifying that and going through that research project, Google identified that one of the 10 key characteristics of an effective manager is as well to take care and to provide not only the effective performance management discussions and development, but as well to take care of people's and employees' career development. So it's about learning and development in the area of your employees, where career is part of that development process as well. And going back to the project, which I mentioned earlier, conducted by myself and with the international organization, career development is one of the key focuses of highly effective, but as well really people-oriented organizations. Why? Because simply as said, processes and tools are there, and HR can provide the best trainings in the sense of equipping managers with skills and competences to be able to lead their people's development and career development. But at the end of the day, it is a role, responsibility, and accountability of the manager, how they successfully implement the processes and how they then keep on with those tools, processes being lived. So it's in HR to provide and to ignite the initial start and additional trainings, but at the end of the day, and we all know, managers and leaders are those who are the owners of the learning and development functions, who are setting down the targets with their employees during the process of performance management or regular check-ins in the relation to performance. And of course, at the end of the day, they are also responsible for their development discussions with their employees. And going back to that, what I discovered during my training with senior leaders and senior managers is that sometimes it comes down to a very simple approach. And I would love to share with you, and I also invite you and provoke the desire not only to be interested in performance discussions, but as well to lead those effective development and career development discussions with our regular check-ins, regular ongoing discussions, one-on-one meetings with your employees. It doesn't have to be longer than 15 minutes, but just take that time to discuss development as well on a regular and ongoing basis. And that's one of the key success factors of how effectively people development can be managed and how it sits in the hands of a manager. And going back to the fact that you really ignite, but implement, but then lead those one-on-one meetings, I believe that the other very important piece and key success factors of people development is a constructive feedback. And those were 2 points we touched with our trainings as well, giving constructive feedback and igniting and then as well sustaining the culture of feedback and / feed forward, in the sense of the desire that people not only ask for feedback, but that they're also are being able to accept the feedback, and then for managers to be able to share that constructive feedback. That's really, really important. So it's about giving feedback, being able to, and have a desire to ask for feedback, and of course to accept a constructive feedback. And all that sits in the hands of managers, how they implement the process, how committed they are to keep that process ongoing, to make it a sustainable approach and like a natural approach of leadership, where they use their coaching competences, where they take time to have those one-on-one meetings, sharing feedback and feed forward in a very constructive way. And based on that, what I would love to add here, that it's not only about managers taking time to discuss with their employees and people the development area, it is the attention piece which they dedicate. But most importantly, what I believe is the fact that every single manager have to appreciate, or that it's needed for them to appreciate their own self-development to be able to provide opportunities for other people. Not being stuck in your own development plan, in your own career thinking is so important, because that ignites and offers the self-awareness, but as well self-confidence to support other people, your employees in the organization, to work on their careers, not being stuck as well. And kind of that feeling, what's holding us back to work on our development or our career development often is just the fact that we don't take time as managers, and then of course your employees also don't take time to discuss and to think about our opportunities in the future, but as well to go back to recognize and to understand all our skills and competences, all the roles which we are capable to take on, and how we can mold that in our future career plan. And here it's not about only a singular pursuit of a career path. It is about portfolio of roles which we can identify as professional, but as well as individuals and human beings for us in the future. And saying that, how managers can use the constructive feedback and one-on-one meetings, being really appreciative of what their people would love to share and where they see themselves in the future, I would say that that's really the key foundation is in the ability of a manager to be able to self-develop themselves, and of course to develop their own career paths and career portfolios. Though what's really important is as well the alignment and how to set targets for an individual development, and how to set targets for a career development and the learning path of yourself, but as well your people. And I believe that if you as a manager are able to combine those points of having an awareness of creating your own self-development path, creating an opportunity to have a career portfolio for yourself, and then combine that with practical steps of constructive feedback / feed forward, having regular one-on-one meetings, check-ins, 15 minutes long. And if that is supported with the clear development area, but as well targeted approach of your employees, you can create a great environment as a manager and as a leader in your organization to ongoingly support your people's development. And as said at the beginning, it's on HR to provide the trainings and the tools to equip managers with development skills and how to support them to create various career and development avenues for their colleagues and for their employees. But it's a singular role and a function of a manager and a leader to implement and to ongoingly support the development processes, development actions and plans in the careers of the careers of their employees. And I would love to add here that this career development and people development, it's not only about the trainings, it's about really taking time as a manager to appreciate the discussion you are having with your colleague, with your employee, with your people in the organization. Just carefully listen. Sometimes you even don't have to ask a question. Just show the appreciation of taking time, being there 100% as a leader, listening to your employees' desires, plans, aspirations, also maybe struggles, and then provide the opportunity for create a development path together. And it's not only something where your colleagues will be engaged, they will also take the ownership and have a feeling that they have your support, because it will be there. And it comes down to such a simple support as a regular check-in and really taking time to be attentive, but as well appreciating the other person. Because, the most effective leaders are as well the human beings, showing and providing opportunities for others to recognize that we are not only high achievers and that we don't only go after the goals, but that we always also struggle. And sometimes we might feel stuck with your own career planning or development as well. And being stuck for yourself offers as well the opportunity for you to learn how to get unstuck, how to work on your development, and then offer the same to your colleagues and to your employees. And I hope that this was not only supportive and guiding for your career, but also helpful for you to understand that it's on a manager to work on people's development and to conduct and implement the processes and to sustain them and ongoingly support your people in learning and development piece. But that it was also ignited an idea how you can work on your own development, career development plan, and support that with your organization and to support your colleagues as well. And if you would like to have a kind of a guidance here in that specific area, then of course you are invited to reach out, book a call with me, and we can chat about your personal challenges in the area of self-learning, self-development, career development, and I might give you a good example or a good guidance as well how to develop your people's careers in the organization. I thank you, and I'm really grateful for you spending time with me, and I hope this was something useful. If you consider it that some of your colleagues or friends or partners might benefit from this video, then you're invited to share it and reach out if you might feel that you would love to have a one-on-one discussion with me. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I love seeing you next time, next Monday, 6 p.m. CET time, in another edition and another episode of Executives Corner and another challenging topics for managers and leaders. Take care, have a good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you're listening from, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye. Ciao.